right, it's Michelle Barone, your host, and I'm here with Ashleigh McPherson.
Hey, guys.
That's right, you're co-hosting, girl.
Thank God. I'm finally glad she confirmed it, decided to make me official.
Absolutely. So, season 3 is in full effect, and we have a star in the house.
Oh, yeah.
That's right, Kyra.
Wow.
Kyra Green right here from Love Island. So excited to have you here today.
I'm happy to be here with you guys. I'm excited too. It's going to be fun.
It is. So I want to know everything. Can you give me the juice? I need to know all the deets. Tell me everything.
Love Island?
Yeah.
I mean, I went on my first season, and it was actually the first season of the USA version.
Yeah.
So I had been a long-term fan. Like, I used to watch with my ex-girlfriend. But it was always, straight seasons.
Yeah.
So when I first got on and got booked for it, I was like, well, I'm bisexual. I want to be open. I want to be myself. And they very much so were like, okay, that's cool. Like, do you?
Yeah.
But just going on the show in general, I was an introvert. My sister was actually the one that got hit up for it. And I just ended up tagging along as a fan for the audition. And they were like, okay, you're going on. And I was like, what do I do? And she's just, now you have to go on for both of us, So it was just a really big moment for me of just coming out of my shell. And it's an insane experience. There's nothing like it.
Did you get what was it like being bisexual, coming out on TV and doing all of that?
Yeah, I mean, I had been out for years beforehand, but I knew going on there I was going to be fully open about it. I didn't know if there were going to be any other girls that were into girls, but pretty much in the first episode I come on as the first bombshell. They're like, she's going to steal someone's man, all this drama built around me. I'm like, oh my God, everyone's going to hate me. This is terrible. And then I just remember the cast in general, everyone was so supportive and nice. And at that time, there were no girls that I was into really. Yeah. So I kind of just chose this guy who I was vibing with. But I was open about my sexuality, and everyone was just like, oh my God, that's crazy.
I probably like that.
I mean, but that's when it gets into the world of being sexualized. For me, I was just this is who I am. Yeah. And if some girl comes here, I'm going to try for her as well, which did end up happening as the season went on. And it was this insane moment. Everyone still to this day is rooting for me and Emily was her name to be together. And it's the only couple that never was a couple, but was one of the most loved relationships in a way. Mm-hmm. So going on this time for Love Island Games, once again, I was just which is a spinoff of all the All-Stars.
Yep.
I was once again being I'm going to be myself. And this time I did couple up with a girl actually. And yeah. Yeah. It was fun. I mean, I can say it now because the episode's already out. We went through a lot of drama, and she ended up getting, sick. But the night that she got sick, she tried to, behind my back, hook up with her ex, who had just both of your faces.
Bisexual as well?
Yes. She's openly out as well. And yeah, it was embarrassing for me. I remember just in the episode, everyone was kind of like, no, Kyra. But my season, I kind of was a little bit of a player. So it was maybe karma. It was coming back to me a little bit. But yeah, so me and her were coupled up, but then she actually got a pelvic infection or something crazy and had to leave. So I was just, whoa. But yeah, no, I mean, I was stranded for a little bit. It was kind of unresolved drama where we are in the show so far, but it felt really good to be myself again and to get so many DMs. I mean, the first time around, so many people were coming out to me, or how do I come out to my parents? How do I come out to my friends? I have no one to come out to. Can I come out to you? And it was just really amazing to kind of have a platform where people felt safe, and for that to continue and even grow bigger and bigger over the past couple of years has been really exciting for me.
That's amazing. And you know what, to be that person, and you have such a great head on your shoulders. I could tell. I mean, these beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I said. The first thing I met her, I literally was like, "You're so pretty."
Thank you. You guys too. The energy is good. I love girl energy as well. So whenever I can sit down and talk with girls, I'm like, I like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
me too. Do you ever miss Emily? What's kind of I know
it's crazy that you say that. I just started my own podcast as well.
Yeah.
Coffee with Kyra. And
I love that.
Coffee with Kyra. And I called her up because just with this new season coming out, even though I coupled up with this new girl, everyone has just been reminiscing about me and Emily and our time and, all those cute little videos that are made from fans. And it will start out with me and this new girl that I had just coupled up with. And then it goes into, but the real love story. And it ties in me and Emily and our whole story, because after the show, even though we didn't couple up, we continued talking and we started taking trips together. And we actually ended up going on X on the Beach together, which is another reality show. And it just didn't work out. But with all of this happening, I think we both were like, oh my God, like this is making us reminisce too. So I called her up and I was like, I have a podcast and I would really love to like have you come on and just discuss what season 1 was for us, and what X on the Beach. We've done like 2 shows together now. She almost did this past season of Love Island Games, and she was like, damn, like seeing you there with another girl really made me feel some type of way. So we're just really gonna, I think, hash some things out on like this upcoming episode. But she literally flies out on Tuesday. We film Wednesday, and then she flies home. So she's just coming out to talk to me.
And
Which I'm like,
That's so
you guys are gonna love that. I know it. You never know.
What's that like? Like having the public relationship and then things don't happen, and then fans are making fan edits of you and someone you're with. How do you like avoid like having those thoughts then if everyone's shipping you guys?
I mean, it's hard not to, even when you constantly, I mean, everyone says it, especially with dating shows. You go on a dating show, you meet someone, you most likely, or don't, a lot of people don't actually have a relationship off of it that lasts.
Yeah.
The guy that I did couple up with, we dated for like 6 months. He was my first boyfriend ever and fully in love with him, but he ended up like cheating on me and all this like bad stuff. I think he's a good person. I think it's just like sometimes like when you cheat, I think it's actually like an insecure. Yeah. It doesn't make it okay. Yeah. No. But sometimes I'm like, I feel for you because obviously like you felt the need. Yeah. But still to this day, 4 years later, every comment usually is either about him or me and Emily. And I'm like, if it's tied to something kind of negative that makes you feel shitty, like in some ways him, sometimes I'm like, oh, that sucks. But with me and Emily, it was always just, she lived across the country, different places, different times in our lives. And to see that, it's like, oh, that's cute. So, so I think it just depends on who it is that I'm seeing, or for anyone that goes through it, what happened in their relationship. Because if it's then yeah, it sucks because it follows you for like the rest of your life.
That's hard. That's so hard. You're like, I'm a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I've that other time. And the reason we broke up, and it's like, okay, the next day you see something else. It's like, oh, that one time.
Yeah, it's a loop. And sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's not. Or say you start dating someone that's not in the world and you start posting and people are like, wait, no.
Yeah.
You and Emily or you and Cash. And it's like, wait, but I love this new person.
Yeah.
And you don't know who they are. You didn't watch our love story on TV. But it may be better and you just don't know. But you're still rooting for this thing that happened years ago.
No, absolutely. Ashley can relate to cheating.
Yeah, I mean, I made a TikTok about it. It got like 7 million views. So like, I get like, like people bringing things like past things up.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of put out there for myself.
I love TikTok and you look familiar too. So I'm like, maybe I saw this and was like, yeah.
Oh my God, it's a great video. She exposed them. Woo, she's ruthless.
Oh, you put all the details out there.
It was a tough few months.
I love it. And board tag him. She didn't tag him, but yeah, that's the
See, that's like the high-minded thing. You're like, I'm still going to say my story, but I'm not going to tag you.
Did you up and Instagram comments were like full out of
I mean, sorry, but not sorry. What's karma once again?
Yeah. It always circles back.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, you probably get this question a lot, but what are you most attracted to? Male, female? What's kind of like?
Yeah. So for me, and I say like everyone's different, and it's always a spectrum. For me, for the longest, I actually thought I was lesbian, and I just had never felt like that for a man until my sister's like best guy friend. So in the beginning, I would always say, oh, I like women more, but that's just because that's what I had dated mostly and felt most comfortable with. So I was like, oh, this has happened more, so it's probably women more. But no, I think I had just like I'd felt more comfortable in it, because then going on the season of Love Island, dating men and coming out, getting my heart broken by him, but then dating more men, and then I had a long-term boyfriend. Yeah. Now I'm just like, oh, I just like the person. If I like the person, that's what it is, But there are some people that are like, yeah, no, I like both, but I know I'm going to end up with a man or a woman or whatever. I'm like, I really don't freaking know at this point. If I vibe with you, I vibe with you. And if it works, it works.
I love
So whatever's under the belt, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Like you said. And honestly, like, I feel like so many people are feeling that way. I think it is the person, like who you're connecting with.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? 100%. So back to Emily, because I got to ask, what was it like with X on the Beach? I mean, that's
yeah, that was hard.
Did you know to be there?
We both knew, yes. But so in my mind, I was like, okay, we've had all this like stuff happen in our relationship where it never worked out. This is finally the time where I'm going to see her. We're going to be like trapped in a house again. She was actually the one who chose someone else over me in our season of Love Island. Yeah. So I was like, she's going to like choose me. We're going to do this. We're going to be together and it's going to be great. And I ended up going in about 2 weeks, like before she even got put in the house. And a week in there is like a month. Yeah. So you're just exploring people. All these different things are happening. And I ended up meeting this guy. I will not name him. I don't want to talk about him that much. But I met this guy and we ended up like falling head over heels in love. At least I did, you know. And I always go on these shows. You just don't know. But it really is actually somewhat easy, at least for me, to like fall for someone.
Yeah.
Because you're just sitting there talking all day. And if it's actually a good ass person, you're like, okay, I like you. And then you're sleeping in bed with this person every night.
Like a day.
In a day. Like that night, you're sleeping in bed with this person if you choose each other. So I ended up falling for this guy about a week after us sleeping in bed together and talking. And by the time she came in, like my love goggles were on. And it was messy. It was not the best. She was not happy about it. I felt some type of way about it because I knew before going in what my true intentions were. But that changed as I was in there. And I think she had a hard time understanding that. I felt guilty in ways, and it was just didn't work out again. You know, so there's a lot of stuff when I see her this week, like we're going to have to hash out and talk about, you know. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. So
Be a good episode.
it is a good episode. What's the podcast called again?
Coffee with Kyra. Coffee with the K. Kyra, Kyra.
All
That's so
right.
cute. I like that.
Me too. So what else are you working on? What can we see for the future?
Yeah, so I mean, it's crazy. The second that I got into reality TV, my background was modeling. I was with IMG models for like 10 plus years.
Wow.
I started when I was like 9 years old. First show I walked in was Burberry. So I was in the world of fashion, and it was just really a negative, gross world for me.
Really?
Yeah, just like the body standards and what I was expected to be was really hard, especially for like a teenage girl to go through.
Would you mind sharing one of your experiences?
Yeah, I mean, just with Fashion Week itself, you have these body standards that are put on you. And as tiny as you think, you know, you might have to be, add 10 plus pounds onto that. So going through that, and then also going into castings with a bunch of other girls that are kind of around the same age. We're all very young when we're doing this.
Yeah.
And you have these designers who are just very cold, and, you know, you're a walking hanger. That's your job. You almost have to not have a voice for yourself. So even when things kind of go south or you feel uncomfortable, you know, you're almost like being told by your agents, by the photographers, everyone, like,
If you don't have your back.
yeah, but they're also telling you, you know, stay mute. You don't really have a say. So it was just like this really gross world that messed with my head so much, made me such an insecure person. A lot of these girls, they're like, oh, they're beautiful. They're on the cover of magazines. They're walking down the runway. They must be like so like full of themselves, or like, it's some of the most insecure people on planet Earth, I would say, because we're just like told so many things about ourselves, and every imperfection is like the end of the world. You know,
It's like if you're not a top model, the pay might not be great.
yeah.
So
yeah.
on these major campaigns that might not be great,
Yeah.
it's almost like you're like a martyr for the business, and it's sad. You know,
It's very sad.
it's it's what everyone else idolizes, but if they knew what was behind the scenes,
yeah.
Especially at that age when you're, you know, 9 years old when you started it.
Yeah.
That's when you're like, exactly. You're having every idea of any body type or standard people in your ear.
It's a lot. Like for me, I was able to see the world, and I thankfully was successful. So you're also seeing all this money come in, but you're also seeing yourself get more and more, whether it's sick body wise or, you know, mentally depressed because you're not nourishing your body or because of all these standards that are being put on you. It was just this industry that I was like, okay, you know, I moved out to LA, broke up with my first love, and that was a bad situation. Moved across the country, and I was like, something's got to change. I never worked like a normal job before. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to cater and like do whatever and like just realize who the freak I am, and also be humbled. You know, I always say, like, even if I raise my kids and they're like well off, I'm like, you're going to work in the service industry though, because that makes you a good ass person. When you have to go through like, you know, you just kind of sometimes take things for granted. And to me, that just taught me a lot of lessons just about being a good person, you know?
Yeah.
But
People aren't so nice in the service. So you have to deal with all kinds of personalities. I think that's a great
yeah, no, I mean, like, even if I would pick up someone's napkin or something and they wouldn't smile or say thank you, and I would be like, oh my God, it would just hurt. I don't know. I'm like, where are your manners? And then I realized sometimes I was that person. But anyways, from that whole trajectory, that year I was catering, auditioned for Love Island, got put on Love Island, and ever since then, I've been put on another reality show like every single year.
That's right.
Which has been insane. So future-wise, it's somehow always happened. So that maybe in the future there might be some things that I can't even say that are already in the works. But, you know, since even doing this past season, a lot of fun opportunities have been coming off of it in the acting world. And these platforms that I just felt like I've been able to express myself on and grow a community. It's been really fun and something that I want to continue to grow. You know?
That's so amazing. It's amazing.
That was long-winded.
No, yeah. Good combo. So in your ideal partner, since you're on Love Island, we gotta talk about love, girl. Love, all the love. Since you know, what's your ideal partner? We're not talking gender. We're just talking, you know, character.
Yeah, I would say, and I maybe shouldn't say this now with the whole Johnny Depp case, but I always used to say I would go for like Johnny Depp from Crybaby, like the boy or the person in general who's just like going through it, like broken leg, needs help, needs love, needs saving, you know. And for me, that was just always what I went for. I was always like, oh, the person like the struggling artist or just the person that pouts in the corner all the time. But I also found with dating those people is like, they're not sure of themselves. They're sometimes really insecure. Sometimes me, like, being a hard worker and, like, putting my career sometimes first was always, like, not okay.
So they were, like, the underdog.
Yeah, I always would go for, like, the underdog.
To fix them?
I don't know if it was a fixing thing or I, at a time in my life for sure as well, was very insecure and felt, like, down in the dumps all the time. So I was like, oh, you know, like, this feels good. It's relatable. Like, I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I was like, I just don't want to be the only person that's striving for positivity and happiness in the relationship. Or even, you know, I always used to say, if you're flipping burgers, I don't give a fuck. Like, if you're a vibe, you're a vibe.
Right.
But at the same time, like, have a passion and have something that you're going for. Like, maybe you're still struggling, but you're, like, pushing forward for something.
Right.
So, like, that's what I'm looking for in general, is someone who's just, like, going for something, wants something, is passionate about something outside of like themselves or me. Like they have a dream, you know?
I love that. And I think that's so important because it's what keeps you evolving. It's like if you don't have a purpose or you're not striving for something, you're almost failing.
Exactly.
Right? Because the whole purpose of life is to evolve.
You're just happier when you have purpose is what I've realized. Like when I'm kind of in this space of I don't know and I'm too scared to go for something and I just like push it back and I'm sitting around all day, every day and nothing's happening. I'm like, what is my point? And then I get like almost depressed and that. So when I look for what I look for in people now is obviously like, attraction. Like you got to be a cutie, at least the kind of cutie that I want. You know, I have a very weird type. At least my friends have said that. But in general, just someone who's excited about life and what they're doing, and I can just like add to that happiness. I'm not like the full happiness. That you know,
Yeah, because that's a lot of pressure to be someone's full happiness.
Right. And then when you're focusing on your work, they're like, well, why are you focusing on me? And it's like, you have to have something outside of this relationship.
Exactly. And it's the weirdest thing I think that some people do sometimes is they're like, oh my God, I love how dope you are and that you're doing this and doing that. And then it's almost like towards the middle of the relationship, wait, you're doing too much and like you're not, you know, giving me enough time, or you doing all this is making me feel some type of way. And I'm like, you left all this stuff in the beginning, so why is it making you feel some type of way now? You know?
Yeah, you signed up for it.
Yeah. Right. It's see an issue at the start. You can't complain later down the road when you've already
Exactly. I've been with my husband 21 years. Which is Sam. And since, you know, we've known each other since 5th grade. And I know it's crazy.
You're like saying that like it's whatever, but that's like the coolest freaking thing ever.
Like it's not that easy. Like
no, that's like a freaking storybook. That's great.
It's crazy. But I feel like, you know, at times it gets hard. I do a lot of this crazy stuff too.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm like, look, this is what we signed up for. And what we've come to realize 21 freaking years later is that, you know what, you have to live like for yourself and put the other person before you too and let them live their passion. So my husband's a businessman, entrepreneur. He's super successful. Yeah. And I am his rocking that. Yeah. I didn't do him. You know, he does his thing and I do mine. And together we're successful in totally different ways.
Yeah.
But it's cool, you know?
Yeah. It's so cute seeing each other. We're literally, he's like dropping us off to breakfast where we're going to fast. Like, bye, good luck. Like, have a good meeting. Like, she's just like cheering him on. And I'm like, we are literally about to do 10 different things. But like, her top priority right there is like him. Like, but that's like really nice how they work together.
Yeah, that's partnership though. Like, I'm lucky enough to watch my parents. They've been together for 35 years.
Yeah.
They didn't meet in 5th grade, but they met in college. I'm like, I met someone today that beats you guys because like my whole TikTok is obsessed. It's not even my page. It's my parents' page. But it's all about, partnership, but having your own thing, your own dreams, but like having someone support you through that.
Yes.
I think when people are too codependent or they're not putting into their own cup, it's like you almost fuck up the relationship because then you're just too much on that other person and micromanaging, like all that weird stuff.
I agree. You know what I think? In the beginning of a relationship, it's great for like a few months, and then you get into like being a little jealous. You're young. You do. Everybody does that.
For sure.
You're like, oh, well, now you got a little, you're famous. You have this, you have that. And, you have money. And then all of a sudden, like everybody's like, oh, well, how are we going to get past this stage to make it to the next level, right? And they get a little crazy. And that's when things fall apart. Typically, it's like a year in, a year and a half in, whatever. But for us, I think what kept us there, and I think what a lot of successful couples that I see happen is honestly, like, you just have to communicate and put each other first. You have to say, look, take my phone. Trust me. Yeah. And you shouldn't have to do that. No, but you should want to. And I think those are the things that make difference. Like, you don't believe me? Take it. Or, hey, why don't you come out with me? Or, just make it so that the other person feels involved. And they don't have to be there to be involved. Yeah. They just need to feel it.
Yeah, and it's having honest conversations and not like holding stuff in and getting resentful or like, I hate the silent treatment. When people do that, I'm like, are we 5? Yeah. Why are you not speaking? Yeah, if you feel like, or say, I need some space. I'm gonna take a walk. Yeah. When I come back, let's have a conversation about this. But silent treatment, and that was my last person. I was like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, for real.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
So what's been your most iconic moment on television?
Oh my goodness.
It's a tough one.
I would say this past recent moment, like Gay Times, all these different sources posted about it. And it was just, I think I was the second girl-on-girl couple, same-sex couple in Love Island history. Wow. So the first of US, I think the first one was in the UK season 2. But I went on and with the producers, you have your little meeting with them before going in. And I was like, you know what, guys, if I go in there and I like a girl, a lot of the times they will show 2 girls talking and then nothing really happens. I was like, if I like a girl and I go in there, I'm going to choose her. Like, I'm not going to choose a guy. If I like a guy more, I'm going to choose him. Right. But it's really going to be based on the person. So when I went in there, I had so many guys just being like, oh, she's going to choose me or, whatever. But then when I went in there, I was like, yeah, I'm into girls. And I started pursuing this girl. All the guys were like, wait, how do I compete with a girl? Like, I don't know what's happening now. And Ray from my season, he was like, well, Kyra always gets first. Because my first season, I was kind of like, I moved fine, but like, I was just a little bit, not boyish, but I was dating. Yeah. So many people went in there and they were like, oh, I'm attached to my person. Like, this is what it is. I was like, no, I'm going to date. Like in the real world, if I don't start vibing with someone, I'm going to go somewhere else. Right. Like, that's just me being honest and here. But yeah, coupling up with her and doing that, I think was a big moment for a lot of people to see, like, wait, I even had other reality TV people coming to me and they're like, oh, I never went on a dating show. Like, they're in reality TV, but they didn't go on a dating show because they're bi or, whatever, and they didn't feel like they could be themselves. Right. So they were like, you even showed me like, oh, like, not the producer's going to let you or not do it, but like, you can stand up for yourself and be like, maybe this is how this show goes. But if you're having me on because this is the person that you want on, like, you can be yourself, So I think that was just, at least whether it was or wasn't, a moment that I would say was like a moment for me. Besides that, I've been messy in different ways for sure, like on others. But like, that's a moment that I'm proud of.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. You go, girl. You are glowing. I love your whole vibe. Keep going.
Thank you so much.
And if you had one thing that you wanted to tell your fans, friends, anyone out there, what would it be?
I don't even know. Do I look at a camera or do I look at you?
Look at me.
Okay. I mean, I would just say to everyone what I always say is that you living in your truth is going to make you the happiest person ever. Thinking about other people's opinions your whole life or what you should or shouldn't do, I always say, as long as you're a good person, if you're true to yourself, that's the best life that you can live fully.
I love that.
Yeah, I like that too.
That's amazing. And that's what you do.
That's what I do. That's what I try to do. Of course, there's hard days where you let everyone else's comments, social media world. It's hard sometimes for sure. And I second guess myself sometimes. Thankfully, I have like a family that supports me really well. And I know that they know me. So I get advice from them. But yeah, that's what I strive for every day. Because when I do that, I'm like, okay, Kyra, you're doing for you. And that's what we're here for.
That's right.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Continued success, right?
Oh, yeah. You guys on other shows soon, right?
Yeah.
Have to wait and see. I said The Bachelor, but by edition.
Yes, that'd be cool.
Who knows?
It is cool. And where can people find you online?
You can find me, Kyra, Kyra, 212 the numbers, Green, on all social media platforms, and then Coffee with Kyra on YouTube, podcasts, all streaming forms.
All right, make sure you check it out. Kyra Green.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
And you can find me at Michelle Barone online.
You guys can find me at Ashleigh McPherson, 2 H's on all social.
Thank you.
What's happened? I'm Cesar Pena, 247 Taps official, and I'm the positive tap. So Ariana Grande, that's my little girl, that's my little sister. Got to her right when Victorious was ending, and she was about 18. She had about 1 million followers at the time, and a lot of fans wanted me to film this young girl named Ariana Grande. At the time, I didn't really know who she was. They said that girl in Victorious that was annoying with the red hair. I was like, oh yeah, with the crazy voice and stuff. And yeah, people were like, Cesar, I want you to film her. And I'm like, at the time, I always took advice with fans. I always ask fans, who's the next one coming up? Like, who do you want me to film? And Ariana Grande just kept coming up. There was this love story kind of brewing with this guy from Australia. His name was Jay. And there was this love story, right? So I looked into it and stuff. One of my friends was like, Cesar, I just got Ariana Grande for my little sister like the other day. I know where she lives. So I was like, okay, this is perfect. So the next day, I went over to her house. Ariana Grande came out, started videotaping her. I'm like, hey, Ari, how's it going? She's like, who is that? Who are you? She covered her face, and I'm like, oh, I'm Cesar. Hold on, I'll put my camera down. Like, you know, this is what I'm doing. This is what it is. You, Jay, you know. She's like, people are interested in this? I was like, yeah. Can I film you now? She was like, listen, come back tomorrow. I got no makeup. Come back tomorrow. I'll be ready. He's like, what is your name again? My name is Cesar. This is my YouTube at the time, YouTube 24/7 Paps. Check it out. So the next day I came, she was looking out the window. She's like, Cesar, come here. So I came over, I was like, what's up? I checked out your videos. You are amazing. I love your voice. You are crazy. I love it. So you can film me now. You're so nice.
I love your voice.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ariana.
We all saw the video you posted yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, put your camera shot down.
What up, A?
Oh my gosh, is that you?
Yes, it is me.
Caesar, good to see you. How are you?
I'm good. You looking amazing. Hey, Mama Joan. Hey, Harry.
How are you?
Good. Looking amazing.
How are you?
I'm good.
Hi, Caesar. I'm good. I know you were just filming.
So she came out, started filming her, and that started coming into light. Like, she really wanted to get to know me. She wanted to get to know that paparazzi side of things, you know, because she knew she was very talented. So she invited me to lunch for the next day. She was like, Cesar, can you come to lunch with your friends? I was like, yeah. So we went to lunch, and she was like, Cesar, I can sing. I'm like, here we go. I was like, another like Disney star that could sing. You know, I know she's Nickelodeon, but another star that could sing. She's like, no, I can really sing. Come tomorrow, I'll show you. So she came with a big laptop, big bag with a laptop. She opened it, she was like, what do you want, Whitney Houston or Mariah? I was like, Mariah. And I was just like, wow, you swinging for the fence there, girl. Boom, started playing Mariah. And I'm like, okay, this sounds amazing. When are you gonna come in? And she's like, that's me singing. I was like, whoa, like goosebumps went up. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is amazing. I was like, yo, like who else you got? Like Whitney Houston. Whitney was next. She killed it. I was like, this is amazing. She's like, you really think so? I was like, yeah. I was like, what's next? She was like, I got a new single. I just signed with Scooter Braun, Justin Bieber's manager, and we're about to go hard with this. I'm like, I'm here for it. So she had a Today Show. She was like, Cesar, come to the Today Show. I was like, you sure? She was like, of course I'm sure. You know, I'm inviting you. So I got to the Today Show, went backstage with her. Cesar, like running up to me like my little sister, give me a big hug. She was like, I can't wait for you to see me with Mac Miller. You know, R.I.P. Mac Miller. I know he passed away. They got on stage, chemistry was amazing. She destroyed that thing. She's like, Cesar, did you like it? Every time she sees me, she's like, Cesar, did you like it? And I'm like, I love it, Ari. And then boom, big hug. And from there on, I just papped her every day, just videotaping her, papping her. the interest was there. Everybody started knowing her name, and that was the come up. So when the CD came out and the single came out, she was like, Caesar, you know, it's #1 and everything like that. I gotta give you credit too. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, Ari, that's your talent. She's like, no, you was there from the very beginning to where I'm at now. You're my big brother. And then boom, hug there, you know?
That's awesome.
Yep.